When Liz walks on the court, she has a quiet yet commanding presence. And I think her skills are exceptional, of course, but it's her attitude that really sets her apart. And even though she was a freshman and I was a senior, I really looked up to her as a player because of her sportsmanship and her integrity.
And I think that's what stands out the most for me, is that not only was she a beast on the tennis court, but when she got off of it, she was a great friend, a great leader.
The thing about Elizabeth, when she'd play, I mean, she didn't have like the sharpest strokes or look, but she'd have heart and grit and determination. I mean, she was gonna fight you to the last.
I think what made Liz so successful is that she has an incredible work ethic, and it's something I think all of us can learn from. She wanted it so bad that she made it happen for herself.
I had a thing about getting my second serve in. I really struggled with it mentally, and Liz came alongside me and she was like, let's take a bucket of balls one time a week, just the two of us, and hit it over and over again. And we would go out once a week and just talk, catch up, but she would spend time with me teaching me how to serve and just really perfect my serve in a way.
But being someone that's not short on words, I just can't, because there's so many words that come to mind. I would just say rock star. She's a rock star. She's a freaking rock star.
Mentally tough. I mean, she was just tough mentally. I mean, to play tennis, you gotta be tough mentally. Nothing would get under her skin.
She told me she was actually invited to the Hall of Fame induction for that school year. And she was telling me that she got to go to the dinner. And it was at that moment it hit me. I said, Liz, that's gonna be you one day. Like, you're gonna be in Chapman's Hall of Fame. And I remember that conversation, and it's so cool now that this is happening. It's happening now, and she gets to do it.
Liz, I am so happy for you. You have just taken the world by storm. You're an amazing athlete, mom, sister, friend. Congratulations, you deserve this. You worked so hard for this.
Congratulations, Liz, on this inductee into the Chapman Hall of Fame. It's pretty special. It's a long time waiting.
Congratulations, Liz. I'm so excited for you. You are so deserving of this award. I am so thankful to not only be your friend, but to have been your teammate here at Chapman University. We have amazing memories.
Hey, Liz, I am so proud of you. It has been a joy and an honor to be your teammate and friend. This achievement is a lifetime in the making, and you've earned it. Congratulations.
A six-time All-American who still holds multiple school records, she raised the bar for women's tennis at Chapman. That's right. Please join me in welcoming the youngest member of our Hall of Fame class, Elizabeth Lewis, into the Hall of Fame.
Wow, thank you so much. First of all, I want to excuse if there's a crying baby. That's mine. He's about 2.5 months old, and he's over there. Well, I feel so honored to be inducted into the 2019 Chapman University Hall of Fame. I want to thank so many people in this room and those who could not make it tonight. To my family, especially my parents, Tom and Joy, for always flying down to California from Seattle to watch every single one of my matches. I know you must have racked up so many miles from all those trips, and I appreciate the numerous hours you have both put forth towards my academic and tennis career to get me to where I am today. Not to mention the countless snacks my mom helped prepare for our team. I feel so honored to be your daughter, and I hope, and I have and still am, making you proud. To my sister Tiffany, for paving the way for me here at Chapman, and to my brother Chris for being one of my biggest fans and practice coaches. To my husband Mark for dealing with me during our first years of dating and my need to always be practicing. I do have to give myself some credit for your tennis ability. since you were my go-to hitting partner during summer and holiday breaks. Without my core family, I would not have made it and has been as successful as I was here at Chapman University, so thank you. I would like to thank my coach, Will Marino, for seeing my true competitive side from the very first practice, getting up every Friday by 7 a.m. to hit with me, whether it was during season or during off season, really made a difference for my tennis career. Even though I only beat Will once, even though he says I didn't beat him, I did. During all my 4 years at Chapman, I take that accomplishment just as highly as my All-American wins and my ITA national wins. I'm pretty sure I could beat him now, or at least maybe I can train my son Leo in the next few years to take him down. There are so many other people that I would like to thank, including past President Jim Doty, Doug Aiken, Terry Bozel, Dave Curry, and everyone else who put forth so much time and effort into the Chapman athletic program. The Chapman experience is one that I will always cherish, and I feel so privileged to have gone to such a beautiful and successful university. I'm so thankful to my family, the Chapman family, my teammates, my professors, and many others for all their help getting me to this point. Being a Chapman Panther has been a goal of mine ever since my sister started at Chapman in 2000 and tried out for Will Marino's tennis team. As soon as she made the team, I knew I wanted to do the same. I still remember going to many of my sister's matches and having my dad hit with me on the field right next to the courts. All I really wanted was for Coach Will to look over and see how good I was, and that maybe when it was my turn to try out, that maybe I can make the team. Well, fast forward 7 years later, there I was in the same courts trying out. This time, I didn't need my dad to hit with me. Will knew who I was and wanted me on the team. From day one, I worked hard to prove to myself, Will, and the team just how dedicated I was to winning, and I wanted to see just how far I could get in Division III tennis. Going into Chapman, I really had no clue as to where I stood with my tennis ability against anyone else at the collegiate level. Since I didn't play that many tournaments growing up and only focus on high school tennis, as well as practicing with my mentor coach, Jonathan Stark, no one really had any idea of my tennis ability, including myself. In fact, there was one school in particular that I visited where the coach and players assumed I wasn't any good because I didn't play any USTA tournaments. Going into Chapman, the only person who really saw my true talent was Will. He told me from the very first practice that I would win nationals one day and I would be #1 in the region and nation for that matter. I literally rolled my eyes and was like, sure, Will, sure. Will put me on the court one against the school that ignored me my freshman year. I remember being so nervous before the match, but Will's confidence and the confidence of my teammates gave me a huge lift and I pulled out a huge W, and so did the team. Also, lo and behold, I became #1 in the region eventually, #1 in the nation, and I did win nationals my junior year. Will was right for once. I was an All-American for all 4 years and worked so hard to maintain that status. Every year in the fall, regionals would come up and the whole year would start all over again. Everyone was equal, and I had to prove to myself every year that I could make it to the finals and dominate. As I look back on my tennis career at Chapman, I really think about all the great times with my teammates and my coach. Some of the most enjoyable moments of my college career would occur driving around Southern California in minivans to matches or dancing loud to music while practicing on the old courts. Traveling with Will and my family around the U.S. to random spots such as Alabama, Georgia, and Minnesota really were some of the biggest highlights for me. One of the classic Will moments occurred at the first nationals Will and I went to in Minnesota. I was a freshman and did not have a clue what was going on. I was honestly just so happy I made it to nationals. I had never experienced an NCAA national tournament, and Will told me to always wear my Chapman gear because how else could we represent such an amazing school? So Will and I show up at the banquet the night before the tournament begins. As we walk in, I look around. Will started bursting out laughing so hard he was crying. I looked over at him and said, "William, how come everyone else is dressed to impress with dresses and suits on? We're literally wearing Chapman t-shirts, hoodies, and jeans." First of all, I learned that Will was clearly new to the whole national scene. And after that night, I knew never to take Will's word for anything regarding fashion. Trust, but verify. Luckily, I was able to show him the ropes at nationals the next 3 years after that. Throughout my 4 years playing tennis at Chapman, I met so many of my dearest friends on the tennis team. Chapman is such a nice blend of athletics and academics, and I always felt like I could do both at 100%. Even as I became more recognized for my tennis achievements, I had some of my classmates and teachers come and watch our team compete. It was amazing being able to connect both the classroom and the tennis court and show how classmates and professors an entirely different side of me. What is really great about the experiences I learned at Chapman was what I took away from my 4 years with my extra years for my master's. Now I run a successful tutoring business in Seattle using all my skills that I learned in my undergraduate and graduate degree in education and leadership. My dad and I are also the co-coaches for the tennis program in the school where many of my students attend. We have created a successful program that we had over 100 kids sign up for the team last spring, and we could only allow 14. It has been such a rewarding experience coaching with my dad and using all my tennis skills that I have learned from him, as well as throughout my life, to teach the next generation how to play tennis. I look back on my experiences and I feel so grateful for the family, friends, and supporters I had throughout my time at Chapman. I would not have changed a single thing. I hope the student athletes at Chapman today realize how amazing of an experience they are having balancing school and sports. Not many schools have that luxury, especially in this amazing Orange County setting. Again, thank you to my team, my family, the athletic staff, and my coach Will for all the support and guidance. I could not have won so many matches without any of them. I hope my son Leo can experience something like this when he is ready for college. The only thing I'm not so sure is if he will ever be able to be his mom at tennis. For that, we will have to wait and see. Thank you again, and go Panthers.